All right.
Hey, hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
So, my name is Channing, and I'm here with Matthew Parrish from the band Piglet, and we're going to talk about some new projects and a little bit about the older stuff. And really happy to be able to talk with you today, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk to you, man.
We were we were talking briefly, but before we got our video stuff figured out, you were just saying that it's great that there's a couple web zines dedicated to math rock, and then I was just kind of agreed and told you how I got into math rock, and then which was like mostly from my friend Brandon, and then Yvette Young, and I guess first question I wanted to ask is what current math rock bands do you listen to, and do you notice any influence from Piglet in them?
I was afraid of this question. I've I've listened to I've checked some of this stuff out. Um, I've heard like Totoro is a band. Um, I listened to I checked out some TTNG stuff.
Hmm.
Um, it's cool. Um, like it's not really necessarily in my wheelhouse currently. Um,
Hmm.
that's not to say that I might not discover it at some point. It's just not really what I'm listening to right now. It's cool. I like it. I think I like Totoro the best of what I have heard. Um, it's hard to keep up, you know what I mean? Especially considering that I'm not playing that music right now, so I'm not around it much. I'm sure that if I were playing that kind of music more, I'd be at shows and stuff, and I'd be exposed to it all the time. But I like Totoro. Totoro's cool. Um, and then as far as influence that Piglet's had, it's hard to say because it's hard to look at anything that Piglet has done or Piglet's music or any influence Piglet has had. It's hard to look at that objectively. You know what I mean? Um, I mean, if you say we've had influence on people, I'm sure you're right. But yeah, it's hard for me to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, for one, Covet, Yvette Young's band, she's said in interviews that Piglet is a big influence on her music. So that's one good one there.
Well, that's awesome. I'm really grateful I got to be a part of something that has influenced people.
Yeah. Uh, there's yes. Since we started talking about Piglet first, let's continue on that, and then at the end we can talk about the newer stuff. If that's all right.
Yeah.
So I made a post online, seeing if anyone else had any questions, and there looks like there's a lot of good ones here.
Yeah, hit me.
Start up with, where did Little Bubble end up going? And this has been asked by Garrett Karp, the touring horn player for TNG.
Oh, cool. Okay. Where did Little Bubble end up going?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There is a story behind that song title. There was a kid that went to high school with Asher and Ezra, and I remember they showed up at practice one day and they had a recording of him just saying that. I'm not sure what the context was, but that's because we were always looking for song titles in weird places.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I named a couple of the songs, but we generally like that kid that went to school with Ezra and Asher came up with that title. Our friend Matt Claremont, he came up with a lot of our song titles. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. This one that says, with the strong support from the community of this album, would you consider a reunion or a new album? And then he also goes on to say, your drumming is almost its own vocal line. What inspired you to play like that?
Okay. I mean, as far as like getting back together with those guys, we all we're spread out all over the country. Um, Ezra lives in Portland, and Asher is down in Texas, and I'm in Chicago.
Yeah,
So, and everyone has busy lives and projects. So I mean, I also can't predict the future. It isn't something on my mind or something I've thought about. Um, and then as far as making new music, yeah, same deal. Like, I don't, I don't think it's on anyone's mind. Um,
yeah,
but as far as my drumming, like, uh, playing that way, I think all of us, we had just, Asher and I were in like punk bands and hardcore bands and stuff. That's where we came from. Um, and we started discovering different types of music, and just it was really like wanting to challenge ourselves, maybe. I mean, I can't speak for him, but I know for me, I'm always just trying to be the best musician I can be.
right on.
So it was like, um we were just young ambitious kids that, like, how good can we get? Like, how much can we challenge ourselves? you know
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one of the, for me at least, that's one of the main things about math rock is learning your instrument as well as you can.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
I mean, that should be a trait of any musician, but
yeah.
especially with more like technical music like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important to like have a firm grasp on what you're doing.
Exactly. All right, we got to get some silly ones in here.
Okay.
Uh, Brett says I bummed the drummer a cigarette once. Ask him, do you still smoke?
Do I still smoke cigarettes? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Good. Good.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I quit for about 9 years, but then about 9 months ago I started up again.
Yeah, it's a nasty habit. I don't condone it or endorse it in any way.
Yeah, me neither. I was completely anti for a long time. All right. This is this is a good one. Is there Well, here, let me start off with this. Christopher asks, you've developed a massive cult following, and Lava Land is often cited as one of the top math rock albums of all time. Is there ever a feeling of regret that Piglet didn't stick around longer, or just the accomplishment that you've inspired so many people and shaped so many music tastes enough? Either way, thanks for the album. It's truly one of my favorites.
Um, I don't have any regrets. Uh, just because there's no way to know like what would have happened if we stayed together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that there's maybe, I mean, like right before we stopped playing, there was talk of just like, um, of just stopping and letting the band disappear into obscurity,
Mm-hmm.
just and move on to different things. But for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like it has disappeared into obscurity. It just stuck for whatever reason. But no, I don't have any regrets. And yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome that we got to be a part of something that a lot of people care about, you know. Um,
Yeah.
the thing that like I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine recently. Have you seen that Slint documentary, Breadcrumb Trail?
No, I have not seen that one yet.
Okay. Well, the band Slint, they made that record Spiderland. And
Yeah.
I feel like there's some parallels in that, like, they were just these young kids that made this really great record and then just kind of disappeared. Not that I'm saying Lavaland's great. I wouldn't make that claim, but it's similar that like we were just young guys who made something and people still care about it, and we just kind of walked away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a cool thing.
Yeah, it is. Nick asked, "Did the guitarist really become a doctor?" I know I read that a while back and just kind of took it as fact.
Yeah, Asher. Yeah, he's an emergency surgeon down in Texas.
Where at in Texas?
I can't remember. One of the major cities. You might Austin, Houston, Dallas.
Yeah,
You know, yeah, somewhere. Um,
couple more here. Jim says, "Just let them know I'm a teacher and I often play this for my students and they love it." How come he hates Pokemon? Ben Raza, Strawberry Girls.
yeah, yeah.
He's in that band. Ben Raza asked, "How come he hates Pokemon?" I don't know. I don't
Do
know.
I hate Pokemon? Is
I,
that
I don't
is
know
that
what
a
that.
thing?
I don't know.
You know, I used to watch it every morning before school.
Yeah,
I don't
it,
I don't know where that came from.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
I know Ben is he's friends with Ezra. They both live in Portland, and they've collaborated on some stuff, right? I think.
I'm not. I don't. I'm not sure. I know Ben does do that with a lot of people, so I'm sure they did. If they both
Yeah.
live there, I'd like to hear that.
I'm sure it's out there, probably. I
Yeah.
heard some of it. It's cool. It's good.
Okay, so there's just a couple more. I don't know what this one means, but ask. Well, I know what it is, but how it's related to Piglet, I don't know. Ask about Peter and the Wolf.
Ah, yes.
I'm
Okay.
actually I'm actually related. I'm in the bloodline of Prokofiev, the
Okay.
composer, Peter and the
That's
Wolf.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually toward the end of Piglet, we were really just listening to a lot of uh classical
Right.
composers,
I
a
love.
lot of Franz Liszt,
Oh
uh
yeah.
yeah, Beethoven, like romantic stuff.
I love Bach too.
But yeah, Bach. Something that yeah did come up though. I don't know how that person knows about this, but we were talking about doing our own version of Peter and the Wolf.
Oh.
And we actually we did jam on some of it. We started to kind of try and figure out how we were going to do that with bass guitar and drums. But that's incredible that someone knows about that. They must have talked to someone.
His name's Josh Alkin. Olkin.
Uh,
Yeah. Are there any plans for official tabs?
oh man, I think that would just be daunting, and that would be
Yeah.
on Asher. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know what he remembers how to play and what he doesn't.
Yeah. So his last one here about from the Facebook family here, from Andre. Before Piglet disbanded, was there any plans of releasing a new album or something at that time?
Yeah, we wanted to do a full length. We had like half of it written, and that's what that CD. I think it's on Spotify too. Those that live CD. It's called Songs. That is those were the new songs. But all we had were those live recordings from a show. But that was the new material. And we just never got around to it.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, but at least there's those live recordings.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea is they're there. They're a little rough, but they're there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the new stuff that you're working on.
Yeah.
So, what's going on with that?
So basically there was I got it in my head. Well, it started out as kind of a selfish thing. And it was basically just me wanting to hear some old stuff. Like I'm not a formatist. Like I listen to records. I stream music. You know, I'm not like loyal to any format. And there was a lot of stuff, like great old music that I really love that wasn't available online for streaming or anything. And I had access to a lot of it because over the years, just making friends with the people who recorded it.
Mhm.
And then using just kind of knowing a little bit about running a label, and being able to tap into some of my resources. Like I was able to upload some of this stuff. And then I thought about it, and the thing with streaming is royalties are going to come in. You know, it's just that's part of the deal. So I decided that to just make it like a non-capitalistic venture. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just uploading like all these great records that really had a big impact on me growing up. Just getting them into this new digital format, because a lot of this stuff's from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is basically giving it away for free. But if you want to like chip in some money, we donate it all. We donate it all to charity. Because someone told me once that I should be giving away 10% of my earnings, which I just can't afford to do. But I can donate my time. So I'm able to like round up all this music and create money, you know, through spending my time in this awesome music that I can give to charity.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. And a lot of this stuff, there isn't much there now. I just put up the Four-Way Stop. A lot of this stuff originally came out on 404 Records, which was like a big turning point. Because up until I discovered like Divot Records from Chicago and 404 Records from Milwaukee, it was all like punk and hardcore. That's all I listened to. But then I found this stuff, and it was like just angular and weird and different. And you know, it brought on kind of a desire to start playing in Piglet. And it all had a huge influence on me. And a lot of that stuff has a guy named Shane Hochstetler on drums, who's probably my biggest influence at the time.
Okay.
Amazing drummer. He played in like Minagra, Tintoretto, Hero of 100 Fights. He played in a band called Call Me Lightning. More recently, he was playing in a band called Child Bite. Just unreal, dude, how good he is. Yeah. So, but anyway, I have access to this stuff, and it's not up, and so I'm putting it up. I'm trying to like keep it alive for anyone who might be interested, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. I I did listen to the first couple tracks of that Four-Way Split. You know, that I just listen to Bandcamp, like whatever's tagged Math Rock, like the new
Yeah.
a few times a day if I can, but it's at least once every day. And if it sounds good to me, I'll post it. And I liked that first band. I can't remember which band it was, but it sounded good. It sounded like almost math rock, but like maybe not quite there. But like,
Well, it's
I can,
funny, man, it's funny you say that.
yeah,
And like when we were a band, the term math rock, it was around, it was a thing. But it wasn't really, I mean, for me, it was never like a genre, like per se. It was more just something like a descriptor. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, because a lot of the stuff that I'd find myself using the term math rock or whatever would be like, they're, you know, more post hardcore bands, like heavily influenced by like early 90s Discord record stuff. But it would be like
a botch or something.
Yeah, botch is a good example. Minus the bear, the term we'd throw around, be like, oh yeah, like they're kind of mathy, like, and it
Yeah,
was really just kind of like a shorthand way of saying like, oh, they're real fucking skilled, and there's odd time signatures, but it wasn't like this defining genre the way it is now. You know what
yeah,
I mean? I kind of relate it to like,
I get that.
yeah, I kind of relate it to like emo now,
Mm,
not musically, but just the term, like when the word was first being thrown around, it was in the 80s or whatever, around some of those Discord bands like Rites of Spring and Fugazi and stuff. But it
yeah,
was never like this official thing. And over time, it just like became a way to identify a style of music. And that's what I've seen, at least in like the last 20 years since, early 2000s,
yeah.
which is fine. You know, yeah.
Well, yeah. I, you know, I like how I like how genres go through kind of like cycles or just different waves, and you see it with pretty much every genre, and also with math rock, and even even with prog, I feel like prog and math rock are really closely intertwined genres, and nowadays you have a lot of prog artists mixing trap beats and calling their music prog hop, and I think there's a lot of talent in that genre, and a lot of amazing new up and coming musicians like Dan James Griffin, Navias, uh, stuff like that.
I'll have to check some of that stuff out. Dan James Griffin.
Oh yeah, he's a English composer. He's really good.
I'll
He
check it out.
plays a headless. I think he plays a Strandberg, like H string or something like that.
Right on. Yeah, I'm always looking for new stuff, man.
Right on. So, um, just want to talk a little bit more about like the the music of those bands that you're trying to kind of revive, or
I wouldn't say like revive. Just like I'm just trying to catalog it, keep it available.
yeah,
Because it's I mean it is available in some really small corners like of the internet, but you really got to go looking for it. Um,
mm,
so I'm hoping that like I can kind of provide a home for it. You know what I mean? And
yeah. I guess a better word I should use was preserve.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I just feel like it's just to like do justice for these bands because they're incredible, man. These are like um that four-way stop thing went up. The next thing I'm putting up is a band called Murder in the Red Barn,
Oh,
which
I
yeah,
like.
they're fantastic. Yeah, excellent, awesome. Like another great drummer, Jamie was fucking unreal, still is. And those guys are still playing music. But it would just be cool to see. I know that there are a lot of Piglet fans, and like the idea of maybe utilizing um, Piglet's music uh, as a way to like harbor these other bands that influenced Piglet a lot, and like hopefully give them their due. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. I remember when I was like 18 and 18, 19 years old, and I started a punk band, and um, it was called Jagged Crustios. I
That's a good
was
name.
thanks. I was heavily influenced by the local punk bands in my city, Arlington, Texas. There was a band called Schmunks for You. They were like a Christian, I guess you'd say post punk kind of thrash metal band, and they really like AFI a lot and just like old 80s hair metal, but they were pretty much thrash punk. And then like they had tons of bands before that when they were like 15 and 16, like APB, It's just really, APB was like really innovative for the time. I think it was kind of like new school punk mixed with thrash metal. For the time, it was like really unique. And yeah, there was a really good music scene in my hometown. Lots of lots of punk bands and ska bands. And Fort Worth had a really good punk scene. Go to lots of shows there. Denton, Texas, I saw a lot of good acts and played in an indie band for a little bit there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think there's always tons of bands like um that are discoverable that kind of disappeared into obscurity. I feel super lucky growing up where I did.
oh
Because
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, but we had a really good record store, like 20-minute walk in one direction, and then 30 minutes in the other direction. There was the Arlington Heights Knights of Columbus, which is
oh,
like, yeah, I mean, Alkaline Trio would play there. So
mm,
like growing up being able to see like Alkaline Trio, Owls, Joan of Arc,
oh
like
yeah,
all the Kinsella stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, I grew up in the next town over from the Kinsellas. Another band that like had a big impact on me was a band called Sidekick Kato, Smoking Popes. Like all that stuff came from the area where I grew up. You know what I mean? So like everyone I think has their little hometown scene or whatever. So I feel particularly grateful that like I got to those are the bands that were from where I was from. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That just happened to like go on and do great things. Cause yeah, I'm a huge Tim Kinsella fan. I
yeah,
love that dude. Yeah, his music's awesome.
yeah. I guess I'm more partial to Mike. I like American football and make believe a lot. Well, was Tim in make believe?
Yeah, Tim sang in Make Believe.
Right. All right. Yeah.
Piglet
Yeah.
played with yeah, Piglet played with them once.
Whoa. Cool.
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah, Make Believe's awesome. Yeah.
Chicago has been has always been like a hotbed for math rock, in my opinion, and I've been trying to keep track. And Southern California, it seems like there's a ton of math rock bands, but most recently, uh, South Texas, Austin has tons and tons of great math rock acts coming out. Just
Oh,
all the tech,
yeah, Austin is just a really good
all the
town for
great.
music in
Yeah,
general.
yeah, it's true. The live music capital of the world.
For sure.
That's where I had my festival back in 2019.
Before yeah, cool. What was
Yeah,
that? You had a festival? Like you just got a bunch of bands together?
well, it was me and this guy Zen that plays in a band in Austin, and he he had this. He was renting this house on like there's a lot of land and there, and he's had a festival there before, and so we thought that we could use that place, but ended up having a last minute venue change, which hurt a lot of people. And but we found a bar with two stages. It was crazy that we were able to find that, but my friend from Nokian Entertainment, Mark, he helped out with that a lot. And yeah, there were 31 bands that played. Elephant Gym from Taiwan headlines. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're really good.
Elephant Gym?
Yeah, they're
I'll check it
really
out.
their main focus is the bass. The 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 bass is what drives like all the music in their song, and they're really good. They're really popular too.
Okay. That's awesome that you did that, man. I've booked a lot of shows myself and worked for promoters and stuff. And it's a huge fucking headache.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but it's crucial, man. Someone's got to do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Someone, but it's definitely a labor of love, that's for sure. So
the actual
good on you
yeah,
for doing that. That's awesome.
thank you, man. Yeah, the show I think was a lot of fun. Uh, it was 2 days too, so yeah, I originally planned for there to be like camping and stuff, like a bunch of other activities, but since we had to move it to a bar, I had to cancel all that.
Yeah.
But I tried again last year, but then COVID that was like right when COVID hit, so I had to cancel that one too.
Yeah. Um, yeah, hopefully I'm ready to get back to live music, man. Um,
Yeah,
I
it's
got lucky
fun.
though. Right before I got like I think everything shut down like 3 days, like 3 days or something before everything got shut down. I got to see Shellac, which
Oh wow.
which was fucking awesome. Yeah. So that was the last show I saw was Shellac, and then I went and saw Hot Snakes before that, a few weeks before that. Yeah, I go to a lot of shows, man. I love going to shows.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you get a vaccination shot yet?
I haven't gotten I haven't got one yet. I don't.
No. Yeah, I got my first one. I endorse vaccinations. Let it be known right now.
Right on. Yeah, I don't know, man. My immune system is like overactive already. Uh, I don't
Okay.
know if I need, but yeah,
Well,
I'll make it
I'm
one.
getting old, dude. So I need it.
How old are you?
36.
Uh, we're the same age.
Oh, okay. All right. You have a young vibe about you.
Thank you.
I would have guessed in your 20s or something.
Guess yeah, I take that as a compliment. Thank you. Well, is there anything that you're working on new, like musically, that like you're drumming on, or like are you making any new music or any plans to yourself?
I mean, I don't want to like promise that anything's gonna happen. I mean, I've got a couple records just from the response from what I'm doing with Dog and Pony. Um, I'm working on a couple, like we're gonna start putting out LPs, records, like physical. Um, there's a couple things that I'm really excited about. Unfortunately, I can't announce right now. Um, so, but I would like to encourage people to like just keep an eye on us, you know, on the internet or whatever. We'll make announcements. And I've got a lot of that old back catalog stuff if you want to discover some old music that's new to you. But as far as playing, um, I right now I'm playing guitar in just like a fucking punk band, you know,
Mm.
uh, which is whatever. But I started talking to my buddy Eli about putting something together that I'd be playing drums on. Eli was in Colossal. Have you heard of that band?
Colossal?
Colossal, yeah.
I don't think so. I heard of Colossamite, but not Colossal.
Yeah, Colossal. Yeah, he played in Colossal and Smoking Popes. And we just started talking. I don't know. We haven't gotten together. Nothing may come of it. I don't know. But I'm excited about the idea of playing drums again.
Yeah.
So hopefully that comes to fruition. I have been practicing. There's a drum set at our practice space that I sit down at. So I'm trying to get some of my chops back because it was a long time where I just wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm working on stuff. I'm always working on stuff. I try and, you know, I left music for a while, maybe like 7 years. I was just had nothing to do with music and made me miserable. So, you know, I just started working on stuff again recently, like within the last year.
Yeah. That's understandable. As a lot of people just kind of get burned out on their passions, and then something reignites the spark again, and you get back on it.
Yeah, I think I just need to like, I'm constantly reminding myself like how inconsequential, playing fucking rock music really is. Like 99% of the world isn't gonna know or care about what I do. You know what I mean? And like, it's important to remember that. You know what I mean? Because it's like trying to just do it because it feels good and that's it. You know what I mean?
When I start to have thoughts like that, well, yeah, just doing it because it makes you feel good. That's definitely, like self therapy, and that's good. But if I start to have thoughts like no one's gonna care that I'm doing this, I just think about all of the music of the past, and how a lot, most artists aren't appreciated until they're dead or whatever, and recording music, just, and if it's preserved, and like I'm sure it will be. I mean, we have box music and everything. That's just like uh, a part of time. I mean, that's time that you preserve, and gets saved forever, hopefully. And you never know how many people are going to find it in the future.
Right, right. But yeah, ultimately it's like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Like like I said, as long as like I'm having fun, it doesn't matter. Like I'm real self-critical. I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I need to remind myself that like, if people like it, if people hate it, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, well, that's one way to look at it.
Right on.
Well, man, it's been really great talking to you. I'm glad I got to meet you, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna
likewise. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep posting like these um, records you're putting out, and I liked the first one. I'm gonna get more into that, and I look forward to seeing the next one.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, this stuff's like 20 years old. And like, everyone's definition of music is different. But a lot of this stuff is, you know, in high school or whatever, it was like, oh, that's like those are math rock bands or whatever. So yeah, hopefully people will find it interesting, you know.
I certainly do, and it's good that you're giving back to the community as well. That it goes, all the profits go to charity.
Yeah, it's right now what we do is just to keep the accounting simple, we just choose one charity. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to cycle through every 6 months or a year. Um, but right now we're donating to the Chicago Youth Programs organization, which just helps because the Chicago. I mean, I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but the Chicago public school system is just a fucking mess, especially with COVID. But it's just very underfunded here, um, especially in it's prevalent in more neighborhoods than others, and I'm sure you can guess which neighborhoods don't get the funding that they really need. Maybe you like neglected neighborhoods and things. Um,
Report.
so it's just a way to utilize like or it's a way to like provide funds to create resources for these kids to like help them with transportation. Kids, I mean, it's a struggle just to like for young kids just to like get through certain neighborhoods to get to their school. You know what I mean? And
Mm,
they just provide a lot of great things with tutoring, SAT prep, um, and like I said, a lot of resources that the city just isn't putting money into. you know
mm.
and it's the idea that you know, this group over here has a right to resources and education, but this group over here does not, is just fucking insane, right?
Yeah.
So so yeah, that's who we're giving money to right now. You know, a lot of the stuff that's going to be going up is going to be going up for free, because really the main thing is like the music. You know, I want people to hear it. But if you can kick in a few bucks, man, yeah, you know, like I said, that's where the money's going. So
All right. Everybody donate. Get that album on Bandcamp. I posted it up on the Math Rock Times earlier today, so everybody get on that. Well, I guess I'll let you go here. Got to get going and stuff. So we'll say goodbye for now, and hopefully we can talk again soon.
yeah, I'm glad that we met.
Yeah, likewise.
Cool, man. All right then. You have a good day.
All right, you as well.
All right.
I'll, yeah, bye.
Peace, everyone. Goodbye.